How's it going, everybody? So, today it's Saturday, March something or another, 14th, I think. Oh, yeah, Pizza Union. They got good pizza, by the way, but they're in Sorry. About maybe 5 minutes, roughly 6, 7 minutes from here. Pizza Union. Pangsung Jum means like store or location. See? Anyway, so I went and visit a real estate friend or a realtor friend and check it up on him because, with this virus, the virus that's going around the world that YouTube doesn't like to admit to, um, it's been to have a big impact on business. Everybody's hurting. The local shops are hurting. The Korean economy's hurting. People are sick. We know it's a bad situation. So I was checking up on to see how he's doing in the midst of all this stuff. And he was telling me, hey, there's actually some opportunities available, which I've mentioned before in another video about the discounts and stuff going on. So what I thought would be fun, I'm going to give you a little information he told me and talk about real estate investment and is it worth it? I've been talking to my wife about this too. We already own property and looking at possibly getting more property, especially us bringing up to the point where, hey, the realty prices are going to go down. If this keeps going longer, expect discounts because people are going to want to sell. They're willing to take a hit on the profits to get property off their hands. So anyway, check this out. Before I go on, I just want to take a walk around. This is like the old stuff here in the Anjungri. Look at these old apartments. Now, I talked to my wife about getting like a one-room apartment. Not this one. I mean, this thing is so beat up and old, and these are all scheduled to be torn down eventually anyway. It's not worth it. And look at this. I'm just trying to imagine what this place was like 30 years ago or 20. This must have been the highlight, right? The life. See those two balls up there? That's like billiards. So whenever you see that walking down the street and you see these up, that's where they play pool and stuff at, or at least they used to. Yeah, back when there wasn't, before the economy expanded, soldiers started pouring in and whatnot, this must have been the highlight right here. These little shops. Look at this, so Korean. Hey, yeah, let's just have all your wires and everything got out exposed and yippee skippy. Just wow, look at all this. It's like taking a trip to the past. This is basically deserted. I mean, you can make it like a zombie movie right here. Look at that. Wang Shi Poon. It's like a chicken or some sort of restaurant. Chicken place. Man. Alright, so anyway. What is that? The K6 Kitchen? Is that place open? Nah, it can't be open. The sign on top looked kind of like new. Korean American Friendship Association? I would seriously hope it's not really open. Looks so run down, but who knows? There's a place right there. Garden Villa. Anyway, like I said, it's a blast from the past. Way before I ever lived in Korea. Just funky. But anyway, let's talk about real estate investment. All right, so the question is, would it be worth it? Now, I am not an agent or anything like that. I'm a guy who just lives here and who looks for opportunity and who happens to, because of his time here and the way life's worked out, made friends with various people. So I have insights on things that most people don't know about or think about or whatever. So like, you got these little businesses here and stuff. Well, like I said, would I want to buy one of these? Like if I had the money, would I like, hey, I'll buy this building? No. Because I know from when I used to work on the Korean economy, I learned that all this stuff is scheduled to basically be torn down eventually because the city of Pyeongtaek has a plan. They want to modernize all this. They want more stuff like this, like that, and whatnot. Okay. But, so let's talk about something else. So I was talking to my real estate friend, and I'm just going to give you the numbers he told me. I cannot confirm or, but so you got the Parati here, right? Now next door, you got the Humphreys Maxim. Now he told me those are going to be like 3-bedroom apartments, 2 to 3 bedroom, which is bigger than Parati. So it's going to be a nicer place. Or Paradia, however you pronounce it. The numbers he told me for those who want to have fun with this This is supposed to be a $60 million project. And, I guess so. I'm not a construction person, but I can believe it. Especially the way this market's going around here and all the property they had to buy up to make it. They had to buy a lot of businesses and stuff tearing down. So that's very possible. And you figure, then you got all this stuff over here under construction too that someone might want to put a business up or try to buy or whatever. Yeah, it's an upgrade from the previous stuff. Oh yeah, you got the VFW there, by the way. Those veterans, the VFW used to be down that way. Now it's over there, for those who are curious. All right, so let's keep looking. In fact, I'll show you some stuff I was looking at getting. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see like drunk bus and stuff like that. Old time establishments. Oh, yeah, relatively old. I'm kind of wondering what's going to happen to them eventually, because I'm pretty sure eventually someone's going to want to buy those too. Okay, I'm actually making a loop. I was supposed to show you something new, but I forgot to mention something. All right, so check this out. My bad, sorry. Okay, so part of our discussion, there's the Paradia. There's that, what is it, Odessa, I think that's called? So those are also supposed to be pretty nice. Those are also between 2 to 3 bedroom, which is really cool. Now, I consider this not a bad idea or a bad thing. This is going to be another office tel. An office tel, by the way, means the offices are on the bottom, the hotels are on the top. Or I'm sorry, hotels, apartments. Just like Paradia. But what I wanted to mention was, I was told today that the rental for these is going to be $700. Now I'm talking to a Korean gentleman, right? That could have been 700,000 won, but knowing this area, it might be 700 USD. But you get the bathroom, the shower, it's like 3 bedrooms. For this area, that's not bad, especially you're in the middle of the Ville. So for people who want convenience, they're gonna love it. I would imagine. If I was, I would actually consider that. Like if my lifestyle is different, I'm a single guy, or maybe just my wife and myself. Because you can just go down, and you go to the gate there, and peaches and cream. So it's very convenient. It's a very convenient location. And I'm not saying $7 is cheap per se, but when you consider, your COLA allowance and whatever else your companies and government will give you, yeah, it's doable. Even a lot of normal people could afford that, like KGS and stuff. They can afford that. But also now, something else I want to talk about. I do have a concern. Remember I talked about speculation in another video. So again, I made a video, last month? My first video in almost a year. I made a couple videos since, and look what we see. This building keeps popping up. It's still for rent. And that's something that does concern me, is the amount of speculation thrown. Like if I wanted to invest, if I was an investor, you really got to do your homework. A lot of the money that's coming is based all on speculation. There is an assumption that there's going to be room for all this. In my personal opinion, having watched this, been here for 5 years and watched a lot of these places get built, don't be surprised if you see a lot of these places underperform. I'm not saying they're bad per se, I'm just saying it's just so much coming in here. And things are changing. I mean, look, we got this pandemic going around the world right now. It has halted the economy here. It has caused a major upset. Now, if you're a person, like say maybe a big investment company, and you made all this stuff, and you've got reserves of cash on it, you can weather this out. But imagine being a pensioner, like some people are. Imagine being that person. You're an older person, you're trying to get that, something that'll secure you in your golden days. So you take we'll call it the Korean equivalent of the 401k, like some of the people do here, and they invest in these buildings and properties. And now, if you're a small person, you can't afford the building, so that means you have a mortgage, you've got debt, and there's nobody coming in to take this. Business has halted. Imagine the stress right now. Imagine the stress going on right now. There's a lot of money flowing here, but when I think of myself, I'm not like super rich, right? I mean, if I threw all my money into something and it's not performing, I'm going to freak out. Like a lot of people, I think you might be a little stressed out. So just oh yeah, there's another one right there, boom. I don't know the details on this one though. confidence in the long term, if you have the financial means to sustain downturns like we're going through right now, if you feel confident, hey, then it makes all perfect sense. Now, personally, I take a different approach to things. I personally want to be able to pay in cash. Get about, so if you think you can handle those downturns, if you're cool with it, and maybe if you've got a great idea for a business or something, this might be worth it for you. But anyway, I was trying to say, like myself, I want to pay in cash, okay? I'm, be honest with you, having a lot of disruptions in my life, like a lot of people. One day you're doing great, next thing you know, you're laid off or something. And so my money, like, no. Oh, and there was 2008 too, just like a lot of people. I got hammered on that. So when it comes to investing and stuff, I am risk averse. And so even though buying property has its risk, this is one reason I prefer to buy in cash. When you buy in cash, like the place we have in Gyeongsangbuk-do, the only thing I got to pay for, or we got to pay for, is property tax. That's it. And occasional repairs. And so we don't have stress. My wife and I, we don't have to really stress that much about maintaining it. We got good tenants. We remodeled it and fixed it up before we moved, etc., etc. Now, are we getting rich? I mean, obviously, if you're really wanting to take more risks and you want to build that wealth quicker, you would take a pool of money and you would divide it up. Like, just let me throw out a number. Let's say I have $100,000. This isn't realistic, but just making numbers up. I might take, say, most people want 20% down. I'll put 20% down there. Then I'll put 20% down there. Divide it up. And that way, I've got all these investments that are going to grow faster than if you pump all your money into one property. And in theory, this can work. It really can. But there's also a disadvantage is, like, what happens like right now when no investments are making money and you owe mortgages on all your properties. At first you sound like a cool dude or dudette. You can talk to your buddies at the cocktail, parties and stuff, how you invested. And, wow, man, you own so much property. You own, really, the bank owns it. Keep this in mind. You don't own it. The bank owns it until you pay it off. So you can brag about how much you're paying the bank every month on your mortgage. You can talk about the value of the property, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, you could be on shaky foundation because you don't have the reserves to cover losses. You don't have the reserves to cover, hey, what if nobody buys is renting or buying the property from? What do you do? Keep that in mind. So I'm not looking to be the cool dude. I'm not looking to impress friends by bragging about how much property I got or don't got. It's just like, hey, I'd rather have stress-free. I'd rather make a decision that's not going to jeopardize my family, etc., etc. So I'll show you something else in particular looking to talk to my wife about, and unfortunately it's not going to work out. So we'll skip ahead. Okay. I came up from there, down across the street, and we'll resume our conversation. And that's what this is. This is not advice. This is a conversation for fun and maybe educational enlightenment purposes. Now, something I do like, and I have no means the money for, and plus these are occupied, is like, I like this place right here. There's a few houses like this. I like the architecture. I like having the balcony. I don't like having it not painted though. But overall, I like these places. They look like they're comfortable places. In fact, my daughter, she has some friends that live around here. I won't say exactly where. So I've had a chance to look, have a little peek at some of these places. I mean, look at this. You've got awning. You got a little, garden here, yard, place to sit down, balcony. I think it's kind of cool. This would be like one of those things, if the opportunity presented itself to me, I would be interested in either living here myself or, if possible, buying it, renting, and then directing traffic to it. There's like a lot of decent places like that around here. But now, what I also want to talk to you about, and that's up the road here, is like one-room apartments in old rundown buildings. Would it be worth it? What I was talking to my wife about was like, hey, honey, now, just as an example, just to get the wheels turning, what if if we bought something like that? Not the building, or like that Hanbo right there. There we go. What if we could just get one apartment? Roughly, what if you could get that? And, you know, I know workers, right? Because I'm an American. I know the market here. I can direct traffic there, etc., etc. Now, the disadvantage, of course, to this is, like I said before, and mind you, this is just food for thought to get the wife and I talking, but of course, that is the engine. Like, if Camp Humphreys blows up, shuts down, whatever, what are we going to do? There's not enough local cranes here with businesses big enough to support the population. So that could be good because people need a place to live, and because that's cheap and stuff, okay, fine. But again, my personal opinion, I would prefer to get something with more diversity of economics. Like if you go to Pyeongtaek City, which is that way, right? There's a new chip factory opened up, which I think Samsung's also maybe putting a car factory there, I've heard, too, to go with their semiconductor business. You've got all kinds of businesses and stuff there, along with us here. So you have multiple economic engines, if you want businesses and stuff to support it. So even if this dies, there's still business up, you know. So if I was in Pyeongtaek, yes, there's some Americans up there, but I wouldn't have to rely on them. There's Koreans who could also invest in property, buy property, rent out, and life would go on. Not this place, but to give you an idea. So I had talked about what about getting one of these, just one. And she did some contacts because I have friends who are in the realty business. She has friends in the realty business, and we took that information and put it together. And she said, unfortunately, like I think there's a place down here, but use this as an example. You can't just buy one. It's kind of like you gotta buy the building. And I was like, oh. So we looked at another place too, and actually a more upgrade, nicer place. Had a Ville. Had like 3 to 4 different apartments available. One of them was unoccupied, and I was looking at buying one. And she said, no, we got to buy the building. And that was going to cost the equivalent of $800,000 because you already looked into it. It was like, yeah, no. No. All right, so here's what I want to show you. And this is like just fun for thoughts. Right here. You got the GS25. Now next to it, look at this place. I was actually turned off a lot by this place and the one next to it. And then I saw some things that kind of perked my interest. First, let's walk down here. It's an older place, right? You got some crumbling concrete, typical. Looks like they actually did a little paint job finally, but still, really old, nothing fancy, not the best maintained. Nothing wrong with old if it's well maintained and stuff. But I mean, look at that. See how you got all this electrical wiring? It's just, ugh. It's definitely a budget place. Let's check the back out. I've never been behind here. Ah, looks like you have a shrine back here. That's interesting. Oh wow, it's like you got a Buddhist shrine back here. That's kind of cool. I'm not Buddhist, but I do like the architecture and stuff. And it's kind of interesting. I didn't know that was there. Hiding in plain sight. That. Now actually, it looks like this man got a fresh coat of paint recently. Well, that's nice, at least there's some maintenance. But here's what caught my attention. Like I said, these are run down, they're old. Well, I won't say run down, I don't know the inside, but they look run down. I don't want to disparage anybody. Right? Real small, rinky-dink, etc. But what caught my attention a week or two was this. See these cars? I was like, wait a second. There's something up with that. It doesn't matter if these people are leasing their cars or what. People, if they're parked here, which means probably they live here, that means they have the financial means. They might be people who are just like, hey, you know what? We got money. We just want a cheap place to live. And that kind of told me, hey, wait a minute, there could be a steady revenue here. This might be a safer bet. This isn't like college kids who don't have much money, can be fly by night and gone. This isn't a guarantee, but when you see like the automobiles over there, it kind of says that, hey, look, they have some money. And so maybe if you got clientele like that coming here, this may not be necessarily be a bad idea. Something like this. I'm not saying this place in particular, but something like this. By the way, if you are interested in purchasing or living here, there it is. Just right at the junction down there. Dongchari Gate's up there. But now here's what I'm talking about, the classic rundown example that I have concerns about. This one's got fresh paint and stuff. This one's more, see how the rusted gates? So I would ask you, for our fun conversation, what do you think? Do you think this would be something like, if you were an investor, let's just say a small time, like a mom and pop, a person with some extra cash, you're looking for returns because you know we can't put money in the banks now and expect a return. So you're looking for something to get returns, something for your future, whatever. What do you think? Would you get into real estate? Do you think right now is a good time to do it? Is it too much risk? What do you think? You know, please share. Love to hear your thoughts. Like I said, I think there's, I sum everything up. I'd like to be debt-free person. I'd like to be in a more diverse area. Even though this is the hot market right now, but let's be real. If you feel like, if you've got the cash and if you think you can wait things out and think long-term, you would have a different opinion than me. And a lot of people have a different opinion than me. But let me know what you think, and thanks for watching.